Now next thing we're going to see is arithmetic operation in a pointer. So there are various arithmetic operations we can do on pointer. First thing is increment, decrement of a pointer, addition of integer to a pointer, subtraction of integer to a pointer, and subtracting two pointers of the same type. So we're going to see one by one what are these things mean. So we'll start with increment decrement operator of a pointer in C language. So before going through that, I'll create one file and I'll write is 59 and I'll write pointer increment and decrement. So I'll not write decrement, I'll write increment.c. So this is the file. First of all, we'll create the basic template of that. .h and I'll write the main function int main. After writing the main function, I'll write return 0 at the last. Okay, so what does increment mean? We remember if we already studied that, right? So increment means when a pointer is incremented, it actually increments a number equals to the size of the data type of which it is a pointer. For example, if the pointer is a type integer and if the pointer store address 100 and if the pointer is incremented, then it will increment by size 4, the size of the integer basically, and the new address of that pointer will point to 1004 if it is starting from address 1000, right? So this is how the increment will work. Same thing, decrement is just the opposite of increment operation. So when a pointer is decremented, it actually decrements by the number equals to the size of the data type which the pointer is. Basically not the pointer, the variable we are using, that is. So what I mean by these things you'll understand. So let's do something with, what I'll write is I'll write it first. I'll write integer variables. Alright, so here let's declare a variable integer a and give some value as let's say 20, and declare one more variable that is b and initialize value with 78. Alright, these are the two variables we declared and initialized it also. So I'll declare two pointers here because we need two pointers, one for a, one for b, to store different. So integer, I'll write star ptr 1 equals to, let's say, ampersand of a, and I'll declare I'll write one more point. I'll create one more pointer for b, ptr 2 equals to ampersand of b. So these are the two pointers. ptr1 is going to store the address of a and ptr2 going to store the address of b. All right. Now if we print, now here if I write the printf and if we print the values, so what I'll say is pointer ptr1 before increment. So we didn't increment it yet, so before increment it is going to print. And here what you're going to write is printf and we'll print the values. So what I'll write, percentage p here, control sequence we'll use percentage p. We'll go to the next line and I'll try to print ptr1. So that will print the address. All right. Now let's go and increment the pointer here. So here what we'll do, ptr1 plus plus. So this is what increment pointer. All right. So we incremented the pointer. Now we're going to again check the thing that if we print the same thing above, what is the output? So I'll just copy it and paste it here. So we increment before increment, so this will be only one thing will change, that is after increment. All right, now after this, okay, what we'll do, we'll just run this code till here. So I'll clear it out first terminal. I'll hit Control S. I'll right click here, run the code. Sorry, I'll hit Control S. I'll right click here, run the code now. Okay. Now if you see, the pointer before increment is this, and pointer after increment it changed. And it changed basically plus plus ptr plus plus means ptr1 equals to ptr1 plus ptr plus 1. It means it got incremented by the size of the int, and one integer is of 4 bytes. So it got incremented by 4 bytes here. This got incremented by, if you see, 0061514, from 14 it became 18, 4 bytes. It incremented by 4 bytes. Alright, now let's jump and see the ptr2 before increment, right? We have to see that ptr2. So I'll just paste it here, and I'll write, instead of ptr1, I'll do ptr2 here. So before increment, right? And we'll do ptr minus minus. So we'll do ptr2 minus minus. So we are decrementing the ptr2. So here I'll again paste it, and after, okay, before increment, not before decrement, because we're going to do decrement. So here also we're going to do decrement. All right, so ptr2. Now I'll hit Control S, right click here, run the code. Now if you see, before here, instead of ptr1 we have to write ptr2. All right, ptr2. I'll hit Control S. I'll click here and I'll clear it out. I'll right click here, run the code. Here if you see, the ptr2 value was something, and after that it got decremented by 4 bytes. So this is what increment and decrement in a pointer. So this is how we can do. So if I write character, that will increment by 1 byte and decrement by 1 byte. So if I write here double, so it will increment by 4 byte. If I decrement, it will decrement by 4 bytes. So it depends upon the data type of that variable. Now we'll see addition and subtraction of arithmetic operation on pointers. So suppose here basically we are adding 1 only. So ptr1 equals to ptr1 plus 1. This is the basic meaning of ptr1 plus plus, right? Now we're going to see, if I write ptr1 equals to ptr plus 2, what will happen? Plus 3, what will happen? Minus 2, minus 3, what will happen? How? So when we are writing plus 1, this means plus 1. So it means it is getting incremented by 4 bytes. So if I write plus 2, so it will get incremented by 8 bytes. 2 into 4, right? Because plus 1 incremented 4 bytes. So 2, if I write plus 2, that will increment by 4 bytes. Basic mathematics, right? So we're going to see those things again. So what I'll do, I'll create one separate file and write 60 pointer addition dot c. All right, here what I have to write, I have to write the header file hash include stdio.h int main function I have written. I'll write return 0 at the last, and this is the basic template we created. Now let's declare one variable, int a equals to, let's say 10, and let's declare pointer for that. So let's do one thing this time. Let's declare two pointers, star ptr1 star ptr2. So we have declared two pointer here, and let's say ptr1 going to store address of a, and ptr2 is also going to store the address of. So we have to go to the next line. So ptr2 is also going to store the address of a. We can do that. Alright. So both pointer variables storing the address of a. Right. Now if I write the printf statement, so I'll write printf, and I'll write that pointer ptr1 before addition. Alright, and we'll write one more printf, and here what I'll write, I'll use the control sequence %p, that will print in hexadecimal, and n, go to the next line. Oops, I have to write double quotes here. Okay, and what I'll write simply want to print the ptr1. Okay, so this will do the task. Now let's increment it by some constant, not ptr1 plus plus, not incremented by 1. Let's increment by some different value. So ptr1 equals to, let's say, ptr1 plus 2. It means it is going to be updated by 8 bytes, because 2 into 4, integer of 4 bytes, so plus 2 I am writing, so that is 2 into 4. Now here let's copy this and paste it here, and here we'll say after addition. So this will print the after addition, what are the things is. Now same thing we can do for subtraction also, right? Same thing we can do for the subtraction. So what I'll do is copy this and paste it here, and I'll come here and I'll write ptr2. So I'm going to check for ptr2, and I'll write ptr2 minus 2. So we are decremented by 2. So here I have to change to ptr1 to ptr2. After, not after, here will be before, and here it will be subtraction. Alright, and here right after only, here I'll change to ptr2, and here I'll change to subtraction. And one few things we have to change, that is we have to change to ptr2, because we are checking for 2, pointer variable 2. Here I'll change to 2. Alright, I'll hit Ctrl S. Everything is done. Now I'll click here and I'll clear the terminal. Now I'll right click here and run the code. After running the code, if you see, before ptr address is 1400, this values, and 14, and after that it is decremented by 8 bytes. And for ptr2, before was this one, because we know that, and after decrement this value became this. After decrement by 8 bytes, it decremented by this. So this is the address of that, right? So this is all about addition and subtraction of two pointers, like constant, addition of constant. Here plus 2 is, that is constant. Now we're going to see addition and subtraction of pointers. So what does that actually means when we say addition and subtraction of two pointers? So let's declare, let's create one more file here. 61 pointers .c. All right. So here we're going to do actual addition of pointers. So what is going to come, or addition subtraction of pointers we're going to see. So first of all thing, we're going to write the basic template of that. Hash include stdio .h int main function, and after writing the main function, return 0. All right. So here what I'm going to write is int a equals to, let's say, value we are giving initializing with 30, and let's say b we are giving some value, let's say 10, and we are declaring one pointer variable, that is p1, and we are declaring one more pointer variable. We can directly write in same line also, or we can write in the separate line also. That is completely fine. I'm just taking the different aspects of whatever way we can write. All right, we'll declare one more pointer variable star p2, and this pointer variable name is p2, and we'll declare one more variable, that is sum. All right, so we're going to store in p1 the address of a, and in p2 we're going to store the address of b. All right, now in sum, what we'll do is, in sum variable, what we'll store is, we'll store the values that is getting from p1 to p2, p1 plus star p2. So it means it is going to p1 plus p2, that is going to be 30 plus 10 star p1 star p2, not only p1 p2, because p1 storing address and p2 storing address, and that those are in hexadecimals, you cannot store in integer. So that has less, that will be different aspect of that, right? We're going to see that thing also. So here star p1 means dereferencing that, whatever stored in that, address, that value star p1 is going to give value basically. So star p1 means what? 30 is there. All right, now what I'll write here is printf, and we're going to write addition of two number equals to percentage d. I go to the next line /n, and that is stored in what variable? Sum variable. All right, now we're going to write sum equals to star p1 minus star p2. So this is going to do what? This is going to do subtraction basically. 30 minus 10, that is going to be 20, right? Instead of p here, it will be p2, and I'll just copy this statement, Control C, come here, Control paste. From addition I'll change to subtraction. All right, now I'll come here, I'll clear it out, I'll click here, I'll hit Control S so that it is saved. I'll right click and run the code. Now if you see, the value is 40. 30 plus 10 is going to be what? 40, and 30 minus 10 is going to give value as 20. So this is all about this, arithmetic operations on pointers. Now we're going to go to the next topic, pointers to pointers. What does that mean? Then lots of things remaining, we're going to see those things one by one. So now next topic we're going to see is pointer to pointer, so which is also called double pointer in C language. So it's a concept of holding the pointer address into another pointer variable in C language. A pointer variable points to location in memory and used to store address of a variable. That we already know that. So in C, we can also define pointer to store the address of another pointer, such as pointers known as double pointer or pointer to pointer. So let's not go through the theory. Let's create one file and see what is that pointer to pointer. So I'll name it at 62 pointer to pointer dot C. Okay, now first thing we have to write the basic template of it. So hash include stdio.h. I'll write the basic template, and after that what I'll write the main function. So I'll write int main. I've written the main function, and inside that main function I'll be declaring a variable and pointer variable, and to that pointer variable I'll declare one more pointer variable to store the address of that pointer variable. Basically that is what pointer to pointer means. So I'll write int a equals to, let's say, 10. So declare a variable a that is storing value 10 as of integer type. I'll declare one pointer variable. So this is a pointer variable p, and I'll declare one more pointer variable star p. So this is what double pointer is. Alright, now p will store the address of a. So I'll write p equals to address of a. I can write it in line number 4 also, but I'm writing separately so that you can understand better. So that's why I'm writing below of it. Alright, now one more pointer variable. So here I'll not write p. So instead of p I'll write, let's say, pp. Alright, so that pp will store the address of what? P. So what I'll write, pp equals to ampersand of p. This is ampersand of p means what? Address of p. Alright, now we want to print that things whatever we have written. So let's write printf, and here I'll say address of a variable is what I'll write percentage x, and I'll go to the next line, come out of it, and I'll give the variable name, that's p. Alright, that's a pointer variable. We want to print the address of a. In the next line I'll write again printf, and inside that printf what I'll write is address of p, which is stored in what? It is stored in pp. So percentage x. I'll go to the next line, and come out of it, it is stored in pp. So it will be printing pp. Alright, now I have to print the value stored in this p and pp. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this, and I'll come to the next line, and I'll paste it out here. I'll just align it, and here what I'll say, value stored at p. Value stored at p is going to be what we know, that dereference we use. When we dereference the address, we get the output. So instead of x, I'll change it to percentage d here, and here also I'll change it to percentage d. Alright, so instead of pp, what I have to write? I have to write double star, because if you remember, this is a pointer variable. We have to dereference 2 times pp, that then we'll get the value at that pp. So what I'll write is value stored at pp is going to be this. Now I'll hit Ctrl S, and I'll right click here and run the code. So when I run the code, it's still coming. So you see address of A is it's printing, that is stored in P. Address of P it is printing, that is in PP, that is stored, and value that is stored, that is 10 and 10. So this is we know. So I'll right click here so that I'll take it to the panel to the left side, right side, so it will be looking better. All right. So this is what, you know, pointer to pointer variable. You could take, you know, you can declare 3 pointer variable and storing address of that value, you can do that way also. So you can try with that. We'll move to the next part. Now next thing we're going to see is pointer to array of function. So we're going to see how to pass, you know, this pointer to an array and how that array and pointer are related. We're going to see it here. So I'll create one more file and name it as 63 pointer to array.c, and I'll first write the header file hash include int main function. This is the basic template of the writing C program. All right, now one thing I'll show you here, that is, you know, one macros that we want to have constant, like whatever the array size we're going to take, we're going to define in, you know, macros. So I'll write hash define, and here I'll give a variable name size, and let's say given as 10. So it means what does the second line means? Hash define size means size is a variable that is of 10 and you cannot change this value in the whole, you know, code, right? So this is another way of, you know, declaring something that cannot be changed. Why I've defined this? Like, I wanted to know you that this is how you can also declare one variable and you can use this size variable. All right, we'll use it in array size. So let's do it. How to do it? So let's declare one array, let's say ARR, and let's give size to be size. It means when I write size, it is going to take 10 from the above. Now I'll do what? I'll declare a pointer variable and will point to the first address of that array. So I'll read int star ptr, and it will store this is the declaration of pointer variable, and that is pointing to the address of the first element of that array. So here we don't write ampersand. So when we declare an pointer variable with normal variable, we write ampersand of ARR, right? But here ARR is an array, so here it will automatically go to the first address of that, you know, array element. All right, now I'll declare one more variable, and that is variable is going to be I. All right, now I'll write printf, and in this printf, what are we going to write is, you know, we're going to say that the size of the array is going to be what, right? So here we'll say enter %d for integer array elements, come out of it and give the size. All right, now we're going to write a while loop, and inside that while loop we're going to give it a condition. If ptr is going to be less than address of array size, then we're going to take input and we're going to increment the, you know, pointer. So what I'll write is ptr if it is less than address of ARR of size, then what you're going to do is we're going to write a scanf, and in that scanf we're going to take integer, that's a %d, and we're going to take input as ptr. All right, Now after this, if this happens, then we'll increment the PTR by 1. So we can do arithmetic operations on pointer variable. So one mistake we did. So here, now it's okay. Alright, now after this, what are you going to write? After come out of this while loop, I'll write PTR equals to array. So it is the first element it is showing. Now I have to print, I have to write the printf, and here we're going to print elements in an array are, and that is going to be printed. So what I'll write is elements in an array are, and we'll write a for loop, and inside that for loop, instead, if you don't want to write this here, so we can declare inside the for loop. That is completely fine. I declared it globally, but I'll declare it now as local. So int I equals to 0. Alright, then I less than size and I plus plus. Inside this for loop, what you have to do, you have to print the values in that array, and we are doing with what? Pointer variable. So I'll write printf %d, and here I'm going to dereference it, and ptr plus I'm going to write. So it is going to be incremented automatically. Alright, because it's in a for loop. Now I'll come out of at the last and I'll write return 0. So what should be the output? We enter the 10 elements, and that 10 elements will be entering, and that 10 elements will be printed out. Because we're going to taking scanf, like here we're going to take input. Suppose I'm going to give 10, 20, 30, 40 till 100, 10 elements, and it is going to print that elements by pointer variable. You can see. So that is what we're doing. We're not accessing the array directly with the index. Either we could have written here, array of I, we could have printed, but we are writing PTR plus I. So this is how array and pointer relate. I'm going to show. I'll hit Ctrl S. I'll right click here, run the code, and it is asking for the elements to enter. Let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. These are the elements we have entered. So if you see, 10 elements we entered, and those 10 elements are getting printed by the pointer, using of pointer. This is the use of it, like pointer, how you can give addresses of that array elements to the pointer. This is how you can also print. Now we're going to see passing pointers to the function. We already saw that. Now we're going to see that again. Now let's jump to the another example, that is passing pointer to function in C language. So for that, we'll create another new program, and we'll name it as we'll name it as 64 and pointer to function.c hash include stdio.h int main function, and inside this main function we're going to write everything. So what we'll do right now, we'll create one function, and after creating that function we'll be calling from the main function, and we'll see everything. So for that, what I'll do is I'll give the return type of the function to be void. We're not going to return anything. I'm going to write the function name as salary hike. So what we'll do is we're going to create one function that is going to calculate the salary hike of an employee. So we're going to take input two parameters. One is going to be, we're going to take pointer, and next this is what passing pointer, and next is going to take as normal variable b. Inside this function, we're going to declare how it is going to be calculated. So this star var is going to be, you know what, star var whatever the hike is getting, and plus it's going to be added by that variable. So this is what the function is. So in the main function, what you're going to write is, we're going to think that, you know, initially that salary is to be 0 and bonus he's getting, that is 0. Then after that, we're going to take those things and we'll add up. Alright, so what I'll say, int salary equals to 0. Initially he has no salary, and bonus to be 0 also. So these are the two variables we have taken. I have to remove one int. These are the two variables we have taken, and what we'll do is we'll write a printf statement, printf, and in this we'll say enter the employee current salary, and we're going to take the input from the user for that. So we'll input the salary from the user. So we'll use scanf. For taking input, we use scanf, and for integers we're going to do %d, and after that we're going to use ampersand of what is the variable, salary. We are storing in salary, so salary is the variable. Alright, after this we're going to say enter the bonus also. So printf enter the bonus. Same thing we're going to do, we're going to take input from the user about the bonus also. So we'll write scanf, and we'll write %d, and we're going to take the bonus from the user. So ampersand of bonus. These are the two variables we declared, so we're going to take input in these two variables. After this, we're going to call this salary hike function, so that will add up, and at the last we'll print that added value. So here what we'll do, we'll call the function, so salary hike, and what I have to pass here, we are taking pointer, this var variable, if you see, it's a pointer, so we have to pass address here, because we know pointer take address, it doesn't take value. So we'll write salary here. So salary is we're going to pass at, you know, by address, and bonus is going to be passed by value, because you see b is by, that is integer, this is a where is a pointer variable, so we are passing as ampersand of salary. Alright, after calling this function, it will return back, and we have to print that thing, whatever the value is coming. So what will say, final salary is going to be what, %d, that integer whatever value is going to come, and that is stored in which variable, that is stored in salary variable. And at the last, what we'll do is I'll return 0. I'll hit Ctrl S, I'll click here, I'll clear it out first. Now I'll right click on the code and run code. After running code, it is asking for the employee current salary. Let's say give 1 lakh, and bonus we are going to give, that is going to be, you know, 10,000. So it should return 1,10,000. So final salary is going to be 1,10,000. If you see, we are passing salary as here address, and bonus has to be the value, because in salary hike function we are taking pointer here where, and b as the integer. So this is how we can pass pointer in a function. So next thing we're going to see that character pointer. So what does that mean, character pointer? We're going to see it in the next video.